down. I'm the one you call when you need a chin up or down. I'm a tin rattle man, I'm working all day, getting those stakes in the ground no matter what they say. From sunrise to the night, I make sure everything's right. Yeah, I'm a tin rattle man, I'm working all day.
We are live with another episode of Under the Vinyl. I believe this is episode 40, which is shocking that we've made it this far, to be honest with all of you. But Nate couldn't be here today. He's having some kid issues. A sick child needed to come home from school. We just found out right before we went live. So I went down to the hotel lobby because I'm here in Chicago with ARA, and I found someone from the archives. So we're here with Brian Richardson, president-elect of ARA, also known as Dad.
Yeah, who said dinosaurs still don't walk the earth? Yeah. I'm here. And I think I'm the first two-time guest on Under the Vinyl.
Yep.
So Mike Holland, take that.
But we are here, Brian. Why are we here in Chicago?
So this is, we have a couple events going on. You're here for Leadership Conference, where we bring in two representatives of every state association, and also some special guests. And I was in a couple days early because we have our board of directors meeting here, and also board orientation for the new board members who are coming in. So we try to pack it all in 4 or 5 days. So
this has been a marathon for you on the road, right? You were away last week too.
this has been a tough month. So we were in Savannah together for YP and Women in Rental, and then we came home from that and we went to Matra, and that was a great event. And now we're here in Chicago. And Matra, I had the honor of presenting the Hall of Honor Award to Mike Tannen and Sue Werb, and it was just a great event. And there were many ARA staff members there with us, and Matra should be congratulated on a great job. Mike Tannen and his team is retiring after, I think, 32 years, I think, of running that association. So it was a great week.
Yeah. So I had a good time. You and I got to do a little banter up on stage, which was fun. For everyone who got to see that. But we're going to go home from this, and we're going to end the year. What are you seeing as the year ends and as we move into 2026?
So as far as L&A goes, we'll talk about that first. I think we've got one large project left. Those who follow us on social media have probably seen that December event where you crane the structure in over the wall.
Yeah.
So that's coming up again. Next year, we're pretty excited. We have a garden tent that we're taking on the road more and more, and you've lined up quite a few events for that. So I'm pretty excited about what next year is bringing.
Yeah. And also we're fortunate we have FIFA coming to town in 2 cities, 35 minutes away from us. So there's some work starting to roll in for that. It's looking good. What are you seeing as you are in your travels across the industry, though?
So I think it's more customization of the tents. We're seeing a lot more tent frames getting wrapped, a lot more structures. Lowsberger unveiled a new structure last week with a 8 apps end, I think they called it, in a lighter profile. Eureka was showing some new stuff. So I think more and more black frames with clear tops, more and more maybe black and clear fabric. We've seen some white garden tents, so I think it's going to be more customization in our industry.
Yeah. What did you see these trends coming? How are you feel about trends? Because I know when I was younger, you said sailcloth would die. That's going to last a week.
Boy, I looked bad. I looked really bad. Yeah, that was I told Jim Ryan from Eureka Tents, that's a fad. Don't get into that. And I think Mike Tharp at Top Deck, I told him the same thing. And it's obviously not going anywhere. I really misjudged that one,
What do you think about customization, though, in colors? You think black is here to stay? Are we going to see a progression? It's so hard to tell anymore. Yeah. One planner might want something different. And you never know where to throw your money.
Yeah, it's a real challenge. But I think probably the trends that we've seen, the black and white, the clear, I think they're here to stay. I think they like the clean lines, that look. So I don't think those are going to change.
We need to take a moment, though, and hear from our sponsors. This episode of Under the Vinyl is brought to you by Anchor Industries, a 5th-generation, family-owned American manufacturer of tents and clear span structures. Anchor has spent decades engineering products that last season after season, and they're more than just your supplier. They're a partner committed to helping grow your business. And right now, Anchor's winter discount is live. Get 15% off frame, fabric, and accessories for your tents and clear spans now through January 26th. Make sure you let them know Kyle and Nate sent you. Contact your sales rep today. Call 800-544 4445 or visit anchorinc.com to learn more. So now that we're back and we've heard from our sponsors, Brian, what are some interesting things that you've seen change over your, I'm going to age you here, 40 years?
I think it might even be more than that. But obviously the push towards safety, not only of the guests who are attending events, but also our staff who are putting them up. You know, the Safe Tending initiative that ARA unveiled last month down in Charlotte is really taken off. We're really excited about that. We're going to continue that program. Adding Brian Bolt to our staff at ARA is really going to make a difference. There's very few people that have the same industry knowledge that Brian has. So we're really excited about this focus on safe tending that ARA's taken on.
Yeah. I think it's going to be great for the industry just as a whole, and hopefully it continues to keep the legs under it. And, you know, it'd be great if one day it helps with insurance, because we all know that every single year I feel like you and I have the conversation of the rates just continue to go up and up and up. And, you know, a big thing for me is when I see someone doing something unsafe on social media, is that's not only going to affect them, that's also going to affect me. But most companies don't see it that way, but everyone should kind of look at it that way.
Well, I know that the minute you guys see something on social media that looks unsafe, you're all getting in a group text and telling each other what they've seen. So, but, you know, there's more and more knowledge as people see what's going on out there. I think the industry as a whole is so much safer than it was 10 years ago, and it'll be so much more safe in 10 years from now. Yeah. You know, L&A, we strive for perfection. We don't always achieve it, but we strive for it. There's still times where you're cussing me out when I show up on a job site and I don't put my hard hat on when I get out of the vehicle. But
we were forced into our safety from a customer. They told us we had to turn into a much safer company.
Right.
And I was the one who had to take it head on and say, okay, we're doing this. It has been a challenge for us. I tell people all the time when they ask us how we got so good at it, which they just see the social media side of it. They don't see the arguments or me yelling at people. Or for a while it was, if I caught you, you had a week off of work without pay, and I put guys in Ubers and sent them back to the warehouse. And it really hurts you to do that in April, May, and June when you're really busy, but it's the only way you can really get people to...
Well, imagine how I felt when I had to go home and tell your mother that I wasn't going to check that week. I've gotten so much better at being able to step back and let these guys at our company, the project managers, the supervisors, the sales managers, take ownership of all this stuff. Man, I used to micromanage it, and it doesn't give any room for growth, and it doesn't give any ability for me to step away and attend events like this. You know, I know that the company's in great hands. It's in better hands than when I'm there. So you guys just do an awesome job and giving you the license to take stuff on, make those decisions. And I see that with more and more companies where the owner, who was at one time like myself, he's fielding calls, he's selling the job, he's going out measuring. Man, you just get burnt out. You can't do it all. And until you bite the bullet and say, look, I've got to hire people that can do this, and it's scary. All of a sudden you're looking at your payroll numbers and you're like, man, I don't know, but you have to do it. You have to be able to take the leap of faith that you can bring on additional staff so you can step. And I know everybody says work on your business, not in your business, but you've got to be able to have staff that you can rely on and count on.
And when we need you, you're still there. You get on a truck 1 or 2 days every May. I always tell you have to go deliver 1,000 chairs or something, and you'll be upset for 10 minutes, and then the next day you'll be in your safety vest and acting like you're Mr. Safety. But
well, I'm only upset because I really wanted to deliver 5,000 chairs, not just 1,000. What am I going to do the second hour?
You got to miss the gym that day. Like, that was such a big deal. But yeah, it's incredible what the strides we've made. I remember when I came to you when I had first come back about, hey, I think we should spend a bunch of money and bring over start using foreign labor, and you kind of looked at me like I was crazy, and it was absolutely crazy the way we handled that. But we kind of took that leap of faith right in the first year,
and we've learned, from experience that it wasn't successful the first couple years in H2B. We didn't really understand the program. You've got a much better grasp on it now than I ever did, but it's really worked out. And now those original, whatever it was, 10 people, they're like family, and they're going back this week, and it's kind of sad to see them go, but the minute it got down to freezing here on Monday,
they are very happy to be leaving.
It's time to go home. We have people from Honduras, Guatemala,
and Puerto Rico,
Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So
yeah. we're fortunate. We started with the Clay Martin MRC recruiting out in Puerto Rico the first year, trying that just because they're U.S. citizens. It's much easier to get them back and forth. And the benefit of those guys is we could send them home now, and if we do have work ramp up in December, I can get them on a plane the next day back into the country, and they can work for a week, things like that. Whereas the H-2B, you're much more regulated by the government. It is a little scary right now. The government's back open.
Right. Just opened last night at 2 o'clock in the morning or something.
But we've been getting some worrisome messages from our H-2B firm that this probably is going to have an effect on us come the springtime. But can't panic until we actually know. Right. But we'll see what happens.
Right.
Just a thought in the back of our heads that who knows.
And I've said this 100 times. Anything that relies on a lottery to give you labor always gives you some anxiety. But we always hope for the best, and I think that the administration realizes that a lot of industries in this country rely on H-2B labor. Not to be confused with H-1.
Yep.
Everyone sees that. You're going to have to pay $100,000 to bring them in. Our phone started ringing the minute that was discussed. No, that is tech employees. That's not what we do. We're looking for laborers. We're not looking for high-tech people to do programming and all that. So the $100,000 doesn't affect us.
Damn, that means you get to keep it now. Any big purchases you see coming down the pipeline, end of the year, tax savings? What's your plan here?
So I think we're making the leap into some groove flooring. I think we've been using vinyl on top of Duratrack and then putting plywood on top of that to make sure heels don't go through. And I think with the right projects coming up, so we finally... we talked to banks this week, and we finally pulled the trigger on groove. We've been talking about it for since 3 years, I think.
Since my sister got married, I thought that was going to get it done, but obviously you didn't love her enough for that.
No, so sometimes, boy, I get paralysis by analysis, and it was the same with the first 10 Ox that we bought. Scott Woodruff kept banging on my door for about 2 years before we finally pulled the trigger, and probably one of the best decisions we've ever made was when we first invested in 10 Oxes.
Yeah. So,
and we're also going to have to upgrade our fleet, I think. You've been shopping for some new box trucks, and we're trying to see where we're going to allocate those funds. Boy, it's scary to spend $150,000 on a truck.
It's crazy. I pulled out the receipt from the one I want to trade in from when you bought it in 2005, and it was $57,000 for a 24-foot box truck. So it's $100,000 more today.
Yeah, and previous to that, I was always someone who rented trucks, and boy, the people we rented from, it wasn't a well-known chain, it was a small local operator, and boy, I think those trucks broke down every day, so I don't miss that at all. I think that's what drove me to finally buy some trucks was I was just so frustrated, but now we're in a much better place vehicle-wise. So.
Yeah. What is your opinion on leasing? I know this is the wintertime, so a lot of people are going to be starting to look at that.
So, a lot of my friends in the industry, they're real promoters. They believe in leasing. I like to own assets. I think the company should own assets. I get it. If a truck goes down, you call up Penske or Ryder or whoever your supplier is, and they'll bring you a new one. It's just philosophically, I believe in owning. So I haven't yet made a decision to lease, and I don't think I'm going to. You may change that when I'm out of here.
I have a hard time justifying in my head as well. I always tell people I'm in the game of rental, and I understand how it works, and in my head I feel like I'm losing money if I'm paying rent every month on something.
Right.
No different than someone who rents you a tent from us for a year. They probably could have bought it by now.
They probably could have.
Yeah. But it's been great talking to you, Brian.
That's it? Last time I was on like 3 hours, I thought.
No one wants to hear you for that long again.
There's people that do. I beg to differ.
We'll get you on again. I think we have. We're working on some plans. We want to get you and some other old dinosaurs on together so you guys can talk about the old days.
Oh, that'd be great. I look forward to it.
So that's another episode of Under the Vinyl. Thank you.